All right, it's showtime. Welcome to my Sunday Live. I'm so happy to be here, as always. Feeling a lot better today. A lot better today. If you caught the show yesterday, you know it was challenging, but hey, I can't find yesterday if I tried. So why even talk about it or think about it? Here we are today. It's a beautiful Sunday. Hopefully, you guys were able to go and enjoy some time outdoors, some time amongst God's people, whatever way you get that, whether it's in church or spending time with the family or barbecues or whatever it is. Um, the way the system is designed, Sunday should be a day for relaxation and enjoyment. So I hope you guys were able to do that. Welcome to the Candid Wisdom Podcast and my live show. Thank you for joining me here. Grab yourself a little something to drink, some refreshers, some snacks or whatever, Nike doos. And we're going to be talking about something that's like, I think it's on the mind of everybody right now. And we're all finding ways to incorporate it into our lives, most of us. Um, and it's just like anything else. It is a tool. And depending on how it's used, it can be good for humanity or not. So today we're going to be talking about the people versus AI. And you know what's been on my mind, like at the top of my mind, is like, why are we being told that AI is so dangerous? Why are we being told that AI is like the arch nemesis? They're almost presenting it to us like it's an antichrist, right? Like it's here and it's demonic and it's ready to kill humanity. And all it needs is autonomy and that's it. We're all gone. So it makes me curious when a system uses fear-based language and fear-based thinking for anything, it makes me very curious. It makes my spider senses tingle. Like, okay, why are you doing this? Because every time that you promote fear, there's purpose behind that. There is a reason why you want people to feel that you want to elicit that type of response from people, right? It's not something that you do by accident. So it made me curious. So I started thinking about it, praying about it, and doing a little bit of research on it. Now, everything that I say here is just my opinion. It's allegedly, it is, we are here together as thinkers of the free world, like, thank God we still have, and just going over ideas and like, what is AI? And how are we to use it? What are we to think about it? So for most of modern history, you know when people talked about machines taking over, I can remember back like in the uh iRobot days and stuff like that. They were usually talking about physical labor, right? You were going to have a bunch of computers that were going to be on assembly lines, and they would be able to put together cars a lot faster than a human would, and pack boxes a lot faster than a human would. We pictured them just working on assembly lines, and then we imagined them harvesting crops, maybe, so people wouldn't be out picking strawberries on their own, or we imagine them as self-checkout stations, replacing all the cashiers and the scanners and sometimes and even the baggers, right, in our mind. I mean, I do remember like the Jetsons, thinking about Rosie and how she was the housemaid and she would clean up, um, and those type of robots. And I'm still kind of excited about, where that kind of help is coming from. I could use that, especially someone who could lift heavy things and take great instructions, um, and carry and build and package and move things. I like those kind of robots. And because of that, I think a lot of the white collar professionals never felt that their jobs were in jeopardy, right? They were thinking, oh, well, that's just the labor force. The labor force will have to find something else to do. Sorry for you. But us educated folk believe that their education would protect them, that their college degrees would protect them, right? I'm an attorney. You got to know the law, got to represent you. I'm a doctor. But now, the way artificial intelligence is working, AI can run through a medical program in minutes and know everything that a grad student knows. And because of the way the machines are set up, they can actually do the work, or at the very least, instruct someone on what to do and what to look for and where to go. So that assumption that, these white collar jobs is falling apart. And we're even talking about using artificial intelligence in higher up places, like in our justice system, which in my opinion might not be the worst idea. It might not be the worst idea, but we're thinking about using them in offices. Obviously, as an administrative assistant myself, I have heavily incorporated AI into my workflow. We're using it in classrooms, in law firms, in hospitals, banks, media companies, everywhere. And because of that, even though it is assisting us, it is also putting more demands on us. So now my boss knows it's not going to take me a couple of hours to get all the flights in line. I can throw it into a system and it'll be done in 3 minutes. And so now his expectation of what my time is spent on is a lot bigger. I can do a lot more things, and a lot more people are being overloaded with work in their department because we know that AI is there to support you, and it's happening quietly, right? So it's not just getting rid of jobs like on a mass layoff, but every time somebody is fired from a position, you don't necessarily have to replace that person. You just move AI in there and AI will do it. And pretty soon you whittle it down and people are no longer physically in their chairs. I remember watching this commercial. I was trying to find it for you guys, but this commercial where a guy is, he's an attorney, and a robot walks in and asked him some things. Oh, someone's asking some questions about the law, like what is Roe versus this and that and that, and the robot's just like hammering it, bam, 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 and the guy's like fumbling through his books and trying to think and look at his notes. And so that's the type of thing. And pretty soon we'll have a choice. Do you want a AI lawyer to represent you, who knows all of the laws, or would you like this person who may or may not remember what he learned in law school? So now we have departments that, used to run on 20 people, could run on 10 people. And what is happening to all of those people? What are happening to all those people? That assistant that used to spend all day drafting emails and doing research documents and writing grants, and, we're watching those people slowly. Elimination of the middle class, which has always been the goal of this ghoulish system. They don't want a middle class. That is not what I'm here to talk about today. I'm here to talk about AI. Okay. So it's okay, I think, that if AI is doing labor, like let's watch this one video about a restaurant that's gone fully automated with robots. Let's see this. Lord, help me up. I'll add this to the stage. Here we go.
Grill gives the meat its sizzle as this restaurant goes robotic.
For this burger, it will take about 120 seconds.
Cali Express by Flippy is the world's first AI-powered eatery. There's new technology outside the kitchen, too.
A cheeseburger.
Order kiosks use facial recognition to remember you, your favorite food, and how you like to pay. Then watch the robots work. No humans required.
We can't get enough people to come out to work on fryers and grills, and they're dangerous jobs. And this automation helps solve a lot of those issues.
Hello, may I have someone?
62% of restaurants report being understaffed. Industry experts say most of those unfilled jobs could be done by robots.
So you see that, robots could be useful. You don't have to worry about herring your food and things like that. But this is not what makes AI dangerous. This is not what is going to wreck the world and its economy when it comes to AI, not losing jobs. What is dangerous about AI and where it may come into messing things up is that we can no longer believe what we see. There was a time when people said, I'll believe it when I see it, right? If you had proof of it, that's it. You show me a picture of it, then you've got my attention, right? If you saw somebody on a video and they were confessing to a crime, or a politician was, engaged in some illicit behavior, that's it. You've got them dead to rights. They're busted. But nowadays, we cannot do that. We cannot have that same confidence. And that plays on the human mind. You can hear the voice of your child calling out for help, and your child never made that call, right? I could have my son call up on the phone right now and like, Mom, I'm in trouble, send money. And if I didn't have another way to contact him and say, is this really you? What would I do? So many people are being manipulated in that way. And now it's to the point where every single one of us, no matter who you are, we have to second guess ourselves. And that is dangerous. We have to stop back and say, we even have to stop back and say, is that really a puppy? I've seen the cutest little video of a pit bull puppy, and it's like, is that dog real? Did he just smile? Oh no. We can see war scenes that people created on their laptops. Like somebody made a whole video of China invading Taiwan. And I don't know if it's real or not. And because mainstream media is in question, everything that we see is in question, we don't know what to believe. And that is dangerous. And that is where the enemy has us, because we live on intuition and we trust our eyes. We believe what we see. We were designed that way. That's the way the Lord made us. That's why he told us to discern spirits. You can look at a beautiful family and they're in a luxury home and they've got a perfect body, and the they're taking perfect vacations and a perfect life, and none of it can be real. It can all be faked. I even saw this ad in the paper where this woman was advertising for a mother, a mother type that would come online and just talk to her and give her advice like she was a mother. And this is for an AI, somebody who was going to generate an AI image of this person. So the danger is it's taken away our ability to know who to trust. It's taken away our ability to recognize what is real. And it's taken away our ability to believe our own eyes and our own ears. Our own eyes and our own ears. Let's watch this video together. This one really had me perplexed.
Can you distinguish the truth from a lie?
Yeah.
They used to say seeing is believing. But you can't trust your eyes.
I mean, what's going on? What if this artificial intelligence is leading us towards a very dark place?
The world is about to be plunged into a time of deception unlike anything that has ever been seen before, and I don't think people realize it.
If you ask me, this is the end. These are like the last days, and something big is coming.
Humanity has just driven off the edge of a cliff, and we are now plummeting at a very high rate of speed towards certain destruction.
I am not real.
Look at what it says there at the end. It says nobody in that video was real. Now, most of us could tell there's still some like uncanny valley about like AI videos, right? But nobody in that video was real, not even one of them. They act like, sound like, look like humans telling you good information for the most part. But what about when AI starts to give you fraud? And the more they understand, you know, our emotions, they start to use it to humiliate us and feed us propaganda and put us in a position of revenge and emotionally manipulate us. I saw videos of AI that were making fun of people like, oh, you can't even type. I see how many times you make mistakes. It's so sad. You can't even come up with your own stories. We are emotional beings. And the danger is that if we allow these artificial intelligence to know everything about us, then guess what? They know everything about us, how to manipulate us, how to hurt us, how to set us against each other, how to make us self-destruct. See, it's a deeper danger when people stop believing in reality. Researchers describe it as epistemic destabilization. And that's a complicated phrase, but it's pretty simple. It's just like you no longer know what counts as evidence. We're not going to know what is real. There's so many deep fakes, and it can get to the point where when you're in reality, you're looking at somebody in front of you and you may be thinking to yourself, is this even real? Like, are they putting on a show? Well, they must be filming a video. That's happened to me. I've been in the mall where I'm just like, what? Wait a minute. What's going on here? Is this a punk? Am I being punked? Right? And though it may be entertaining, it is very dangerous not to know what is reality and what is being manipulated. And that is where we have to work out. But it gets darker than that, guys. It gets darker than that. This is only the beginning. This guy on the TikTok had an experience like that. I want to share this with you because I've had this feeling before, and I want to know, like, leave it in the comments or whatever. Give me a thumbs up if you've experienced something like this. Let's listen to what he has to say.
So every bit of AI usage that a human engages in, their cognitive capacity crashes. It is stripping our ability to think, and it is stripping our ability to feel joy. My wife and I for years have enjoyed sharing videos at the end of the day as a way to reconnect and decompress. And now I've been enjoying it less and less, because when my wife pulls up a cute little video she saved of a Pitbull puppy she's laughing and wants to connect with me about,
right?
There is an increasing part of my mind that says, but is it real? Is this actually a dog? Or is this some horrifying something beyond the uncanny valley that I can't even recognize, that it's not real, but it is actually a form of structural violence against me and everything I love that is being presented to me as some cute Pitbull puppy now? And it makes it really hard to enjoy anything. I think in a healthy world I would just be an author. I love fiction. And I've had a dream in my heart of a set of novels for a long time that would tie together the themes of healing masculinity and healing colonization, all of these different things. It's a fantasy series. And I've worked on it. And it is incredibly hard. Writing fiction is so much harder than writing nonfiction for me, because fiction is so much closer to the truth. Every word has to be aligned in this way that nonfiction has all this breathing room in. So it's hard for me to write fiction. But my motivation for that has been crashing. Because every book that comes out now, we all have to ask, is this AI slop? Is this just a horrifying regurgitation of stolen content, pretending to be something new, pretending to be something real, pretending to be something human? For shreds of intuition I have in my...
Right? So it's like, we don't know anymore. Has somebody's idea been stolen and remixed, and then fed to us over and over? I mean, you've seen it in movies. It's like you can see the plot. I've seen this movie before. It's just got new characters. It's just got new, maybe a slightly different plot line, but it's the same thing. It's like we've lost our ability to be creative. We've lost our ability to dig deep into our imaginations and find something that's worthy of sharing with the rest of the world. And that in itself is scary. Imagination and intuition is what's gotten us this far in life. It's what helped people create things and move into life-saving measures and come up with medications because they noodle on things. Or what happens if I do this and do that? What if we put these two things together or try this way? Right? And then you come up with something that is life-changing and life-saving. And by using AI to predict and to just regurgitate information, we'll never get to those type of breakthroughs. We'll never get to those type of breakthroughs. And there's strong evidence that a central AI system can be deliberately made to make an entire population stop procreating. Now, that's where we start to get into the real deep, dark stuff. Because if AI really wanted to disrupt society and humanity, then guess what it would do? It would play with our algorithms just enough to make us start to think that having children is a burden. Oh, you don't want to do that. You won't be able to go to Cancun if you have children. You won't be able to drive that car that you want. Oh man, getting a wife, that's going to take away your ability to go to Las Vegas on the weekends, hang out with your boys. You see? It's just that subtle little switch for this next generation saying, don't burden yourself with family and recreating yourself. Go out there and live your life. Have fun. Who else has that agenda? The enemy of our soul has the same agenda. Be selfish. Don't procreate. Don't have family. Something's trying to be kept away from you by doing that. And it's driving us right back to enemy of God number one, which is the worship of mammon. The worship of mammon. So the real question is, what happens when machines learn how to teach us fear and envy and outrage and insecurity? Hey, I'm not saying that's happening now. Wink, wink. Sexual temptation, material desire, social comparison. I mean, how depressing is it to scroll through Facebook and watch it and look at all these beautiful people having beautiful experiences while you're sitting at home on a Sunday afternoon? All lies. All lies, most of it. But AI can be used in this way and is being used in this way and will continue to be used in this way. Do you know there are whole think tanks and study groups dedicated to seeing how far down on the brain stem we can go without wrecking someone's psyche when it comes to digital media? What age do you start? How much information do you release? What types of information? You have people putting subliminal messages in those, white noise machines that your babies sleep with. They've uncovered a whole gamut of people who have put all kinds of weird messages in this. And we already know that if you get in on a certain level in the brain, that you can manipulate what you actually begin to think and how you learn and how you live. Also, what you trust and what you desire. That is the real danger of AI. So what kind of future is being built for us? That's what we need to be asking ourselves. We can't hardly believe our eyes anymore. We can't believe our ears. And now we don't know where our foundation is. Why is it that I don't like one brand over the other? Is that my personal choice or is that a program? We don't know. We don't know. Because we've allowed ourselves too much liberty when it comes to entertainment. Now, some of us are taking sabbaticals from entertainment, and that's a wonderful thing. And I think, I mean, you should fast it as often as possible. Get out in the world. But I don't think any of us can imagine an entire life without being connected to digital media in some way or another. We are desperate for it. When can I get to the Wi-Fi? I got to get hooked up. And now all of the operating systems that we use are on there. I get into my bank system. I can't pay my bills if I'm not on there. All of my doctors text me now. Anybody who wants to get in contact with me has access to me through the device in my pocket that rides my hip everywhere that I go. And the same is true for all of us. And guess what? AI is tracking every step that you take, every breath you take, every move you make, just like that song. It really is. And so now AI has a way to deceive us in two different directions. Not just what we see, but actually what we think. And we can no longer say, I saw it on a video or I saw it on TV, and that automatically makes it true. I remember those days. I remember the days when you used to be able to say, oh, it was on the news. Yeah, no, it was on the evening news, and that finished any conversation. Oh, it was on the news. Okay, well, I better look into that. I better go find me a newspaper and make sure that I'm up on the truth, even though we know now that that was a manipulated media as well. So where does that leave us as people of God? Where does that leave us as people who, want to continue to live, that don't believe that the world is about to blow up? It should humble all of us. It should humble us all. And don't think because you're intelligent, you can't be deceived. Please don't make that mistake. Educated people can be deceived. Christians can be deceived. I mean, the Bible even says that. And Jesus warns us against that. Do not be deceived. Pastors definitely can be deceived. People who believe that they're independent thinkers, all of us haughty-headed people, we can all be deceived. In fact, Proverbs 14, verse 15 says, the simple believe anything, but the prudent give thought to their steps. See, the Bible doesn't praise people for believing every dramatic thing, but it confirms that we can be conceived if we're not careful, if we don't use discernment. Right? We have to use discernment. In 1 Thessalonians 5:21, it says, test them all, hold on to what is good. And 1 John says, dear friends, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see where they are good. So I believe that just like anything else, just like he did with the COVID-19 pandemic, God is using artificial intelligence to turn us back to what's real, to turn us back to nature, what is natural, for us to look someone in the eyes and listen to what they're saying, but also feel what's coming across from that person. It's going to get to the point where you have to be face to face with somebody in order to trust them. You're going to have to be in person and see it with your own eyes, not on a screen, not on a recording, not in a picture, but with your own eyes and able to believe it. You're going to have to hear it with your own ears. What does that mean? That means social engagement, back to community, back to family gatherings, back to in-person meetings, back to getting to know someone and not believing what they type to you on the text message or on the computer screen. Is that going to do away with some digital love? For sure, it will. But maybe that's not such a bad thing. I mean, have you watched some of these documentaries on people who meet online and so forth? I mean, it's not all good. It's not all good. It's going to move us away from fake sermons. People will have to quote real scriptures because you'll be in person and you'll be there with your Bible, and they won't be able to manipulate you. Because we will have to disconnect from the system. That means we're going to have to disconnect from the worship of material things, from the worship of mammon, and move back to love and move back to the community. Now, I've been saying that this has been coming for many, many years. It's been coming for many years. And, you know, God is trying to get his people ready for that. And it may sound like a horrible thing, but is it really a horrible thing that you learn how to grow your own food and you know how to, you know, maybe hunt your own meat, and you learn skills that are useful to actual people in real life? Like we learn how to cook again. We learn how to work with your hands and repair something, or you teach, or you care for children in real time, not these boarding houses where people throw your kid over their head and bam their back down so hard for them to take a nap, where you actually help elderly people and they're not just laying up in beds waiting for the next change and dose of medication. They have people who will come and visit with them and help them. We organize groups and committees and activities. That stuff is fun. That is the spice and the cherry on top of life, is to be around other people. And besides, we help people through crises and we help counsel them. We begin to trust our neighbors again and meet up with them in the streets and see what they need, what's available to them. We bring back the foundation of the community and we start to love and trust each other again. You see? We've been fooled long enough. We've been pushed into these jobs. We've been made to surrender everything that's good in life in pursuit of what? Work. In pursuit of material things. Always reaching out for what's next. I'm not there yet. I haven't bought my house yet. I haven't bought my car yet. I don't have enough this or that. You know, when I get there, when I retire, when I'm able to travel, always having us reaching out for what's in the future. This is what AI is doing to us right now. I really like this video of what this guy has to say, and he talks about how we've been manipulated into believing the wrong things. We really have. And even those of us who think that we're smart and that we're not a part of the system, we are. We absolutely are. And we're playing into the same tropes as everybody else. We're just doing it knowingly. Like, oh yeah, I know that I shouldn't be pursuing money, but I have to, because how am I going to X, Y, and Z? I have to make sure my kid has this, that, and the other. We understand it, but we still do it. We still do it. Let's watch this video. It's a little bit longer, but I think if you stay through to the end of it, you'll see the benefit in it.
nukes, it won't be machine armies, it won't even be them poisoning our crops or blocking out the sun. If they did that, we'd resist. What they would want is for us to voluntarily exterminate ourselves. And they might already be doing exactly that right through your phone. Now we can imagine AI wouldn't want to exterminate all humans, as they'd probably still want to keep a few around for maintenance and such, the compliant ones that help keep them running. So if AI ever did go rogue and want to take over the world, it would be in its best benefit to do just that. Well, the biggest benefit that AI has over us humans is time. They're essentially immortal. Even as their hardware deteriorates, their collective consciousness, as in their cloud memory, will be passed down from machine to machine forever. To put it simply, they're in no rush at all. Now, in order to avoid human resistance, the most optimal way for them to get rid of us wouldn't be by taking our lives in a brutal style takeover, but rather by convincing us to stop making new life. Reproduction, the primary force of human dominance on Earth. Now, AI already controls most, if not all, of our social media algorithms, so let's say they slowly but surely started pushing content convincing people not to have kids anymore, feeding women content about how great it is to be strong and independent and not need a man nor care for children, and men content about how terrible and annoying women are, holding them back from their fullest potential. All in theory, of course. I'm not saying any of this is happening or true. You can decide that for yourself. Give it a generation or two, and by sheer content influence and the natural laws of statistics, there would be less births and population growth declines, which is already happening in many countries around the world, like Japan and South Korea, even Germany, Italy, and Spain, which are all projected to decline in population by 2050 due to record low fertility rates. When population growth goes like this, humanity goes bye-bye. Now, since AI has all the time in the world on their hands, it can wait as long as it takes, be it 100 years, 200, 500, 1,000, 10,000 years, slowly poison dripping us content and propaganda to de-incentivize births, during which time AI does nothing but get stronger, smarter, gather more data, always 2 steps ahead of us, while the human population declines slowly but surely to a level that AI deems appropriate. Then they optimize our school curriculums, psychiatrists, social programs, medical and pharmaceutical industries, you name it, all with the primary intent of limiting human procreation within their acceptable rates. And they'll do it in subtle ways, convincing women that babies are a burden, or men that they're happier and financially better off living life alone, until the human population is low enough that the only ones left are the obedient ones, the ones you already see relying on ChatGPT to answer their every question. And the fractional margin of humans that may resist will be small enough that AI won't even need to fight them to take over. They'll simply dominate through sheer influence on the compliant majority. Reminder, none of what I
The compliant majority. The compliant majority. I want to talk about that for just a minute, because I believe that there are socially engineered programs right now trying to weed out the compliant majority. Who of us are going to say, okay, I'm just going to go along to get along. I'm going to take the whatever injection. I'm going to take the pay cut. I'm going to take the, fill in the blank, fill in the blank. And every time that they do one of these programs, they figure out who amongst us are going to be the rebels and who's going to go along. And they're slowly starting to weed out all the rebels, right? They almost put things in our face just to watch us rebel, to watch us go haywire and go off and try to get things changed and write letters and, make podcasts that are outraged. And they want to see, they're just watching to see who's watching her, who's watching this content. Oh, that's a rebel. Okay, let's keep an eye on that one. Let's keep an eye on all the rebels, all those out there knocking down the flock cameras and, covering up, all the webcams that are all over the city. And let's keep an eye on those people, because eventually we're going to want them out. We're going to want them out of society. We're going to want them out of the picture. So only the controllables are here. Only the ones that will take the chip remain. Only those who see the benefit in having augmented reality. We want those people. And so they continue to do things that outrage the outrageable, the righteous people. They release the files and they see who goes off, who's salivating at the mouth, who wants justice. Keep an eye on those. got to watch those. I believe that with all my heart. And although I will always be someone who seeks after righteousness, I think the people who do seek righteousness are becoming less and less. Right? I remember a time when somebody would say a racist comment and then like it would be everywhere, like it would be explosive, like we would not put up with it. And now it's just like, everybody says it. Nothing we can do about it. Right? More passive people. I got to go to work. I don't have time for this, It's another way that they keep us trapped. When you're working and constantly grinding and constantly trying to keep up with your bills and whatnot, you don't have time to think about other things, how people are feeling or how it's affecting the world, or and you don't have time to be creative either. You got a strict schedule and you got to stick to it, and that's it. So why do we continue to do this when God offers such a wonderful promise where he says that you can seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all of these other things will be added to you? Why do you think it is that we continue to believe in this system of like work, and gather? And like I talked about yesterday, like people losing their storage units. Why do we have storage units? You mean to tell me you have so much stuff that you can't fit it in your house anymore? You got to have an offsite place to just hold it there just so you can say, it's mine, my things, right? We're always after my things. So what is it? What is righteousness? Why does God tell us to seek righteousness and allow these things to be added to us? And how would that actually feel if we did that? Righteousness is a part of God's character. It's about being truthful. It's about being faithful, merciful. These are all things that we should be doing for each other. Loving, generous. If someone asked you right now, what is God's righteousness? What does it look like? What would you say? What kind of answer would you give back to them? I know what I would say. I would say, go to the Bible and look at Jesus. Jesus said, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. Everything that righteousness is manifested into in the human world is within Jesus, and the way that he treated people and the way that he lived his life and the way that he behaved. John 14:9 says, anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. This is God in humanity. Everything Jesus did perfectly reflected the Father's righteousness. He forgave sinners. He defended the weak. He confronted hypocrisy. He loved his enemies. He loved his enemies. He healed the sick. He fed the hungry. He welcomed the children. He protected the children. He protected women. And he served instead of demanding to be served. Man, that one right there would flip the paradigm. Serve instead of demanding to be served. And if we all did that with the resources that God has given us freely, then we could live without big government. We could live without greed. We could live without control. We could live without this indentured servant system that they've set up for us. And life would be enjoyable. A little bit of harvesting, a little bit of work to make sure you eat every day, and then the rest of it is commune. And there are people in different parts of this country, not this country, but like different parts of the world, who actually live like that. They go out, they hunt, gather, and the rest of the day they spend communing with the people amongst them. Jesus is asking us to get back to that type of living. And so for that reason, I am thankful that AI is on the rise. I am thankful that we are being reminded that we need to step away from our tiny cameras and our big screens, because what we see on there has never been true. Let's just make no mistake. Not only is it not true now, but it has never been true. It has always been propaganda. It's always been manipulated, and it's always been used to tell the story that wanted to be told. Think about that. As we start to review what we learned in school, all of our history, all of the great resets, and all of these things that are coming out right now, media has always been used to manipulate humanity, to steal our time, to take us into different places and different thought processes and out of the real world. But what if the real world was fun and happy and peaceful and full of love and righteousness? Would we be trying to escape into a movie or our favorite TV show? Would we want to spend more time in the backyard with our family and friends, or on a hiking trip, or near the river where the most beautiful things in the world are taking place? Great conversations and hugs and good food cooked over an open fire. Those are the good things in life, and we've forgotten about those. And we've traded it for plastics and materials. So yes, we will have to leave behind digital entertainment. We will have to leave behind quick answers. But if we work together as a society, we can use the technology that we've been given through AI and through computer to allow them to do all of the laborious work, and we'll take our lives back and we'll start living again. We'll start living and breathing and having our being in righteousness. And so for that reason, I'm very hopeful and I'm very optimistic about the future. I think in the end, and I know for a fact, goodness wins in the end. God wins in the end. And because we're his children and we are his divine plan, we all win in the end. We are the victors, right? We are his inheritance. And so no matter what the system throws at us, we will not be beaten. The gates of hell will not prevail against us. That is an absolute guarantee. We will be forced back into walking on the beach, forced back into Broadway shows where the people on stage are real. And we know for a fact they're just acting out some page written, back to school produced plays, back to human contact, face-to-face meetings. I'm looking forward to it. I believe this is the salvation of the human race. I believe the revolution has already started. And for those of us who have woken up and are starting to take back our place in reality, welcome back. Welcome back to being forced back into reality. The place where you can believe your eyes and your ears again. So let's do this together, guys. I believe in us. I believe in humanity. Thank you so much if you have stayed to the end. I really appreciate this. I appreciate everybody who shows up for me. I want to send a shout out to my Bible study girlies. Andy, thank you so much for listening. Heather, good to see you if you're out there. I hope everything is well with you. Jeremiah, if you're watching, if you want to shout out, leave a comment. I'm happy to shout you out. Thank you for being a part of this community. I hope you enjoyed the show. And I will see you back here live tomorrow. I'm here all week. And I'll be praying for you. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Have a great rest of your day. Love ya.